Hello and welcome to or welcome back to my channel. My name is Tiffany and today's video is one that I am so excited to share with you. It is my limited edition eyeshadow palette collection and I have been waiting months to make this video and share it with you. And this video is inspired by Angelica Nyqvist on YouTube and I'll leave her video linked below. It is from July 2020, y'all. It has been a while since I have wanted to make this video. So I'm presenting to you today my limited edition eyeshadow palettes, and I love limited edition palettes. I feel like they are very unique color stories and they are made with a specific theme in mind, and the ones I'm going to be presenting to you today are a mixture of ones that are specific themes and ones that were probably meant to be a not limited edition but were, I don't know, maybe quickly discontinued or ended up being limited edition. And limited edition palettes are made either in smaller quantities or only released for a certain amount of time. And I had a really hard time figuring out how I was going to present these today because I could have presented them in chronological order, but I couldn't remember when I bought them because some of these are upwards of 5 years old. And some of them I purchased when they were on their way out or being discontinued, so they were a little bit cheaper even though they were limited edition. And some of them I bought right away as soon as they launched. A few of these I got very lucky on and snapped them right up real quick. And I just couldn't decide if I should do it by brand or by theme, but I'm gonna kind of do a little bit of both today. So let me quit yammering and let's get started. The very first palette you may have seen already. It is my Urban Decay Full Spectrum palette, and it looks like this. It's a rainbow palette, and it has a nice variety of matte shadows and shimmers and topper shades, and it's just a really pretty rainbow. It is missing red, but clearly I do not lack red in my collection, so it's not a big loss for me here. But it does have a nice range of depth and colors, and I really enjoy creating with this palette. The next one is also by Urban Decay, and this one is a specific palette because it was one that was celebrated their 20-year anniversary. And this is their Vice 20 or XX Reloaded. I'm not sure what exactly it was called, but it looks like this, and it was made to commemorate their 20th anniversary. And the Vice palettes were a series of palettes that they did before the Naked palette series, and they haven't made a Naked palette in a while, or a Vice palette, excuse me, in a while. I think this might have been one of the last ones that they did. And this one also contains a nice variety of mattes and shimmers, and this was supposed to be kind of a mixture of some of their original shades and some new shades, and I really enjoy the depth and variety in this palette. Also, you can see I've made quite a dent in some of these shades and just really enjoy this color story in this palette here too. The next one, also Urban Decay, is one that I wasn't actually going to buy at first because I wasn't sure that I liked it. I was still kind of getting into makeup and exploring makeup, and this was one I wasn't really interested in neutrals. If I was going to wear it, I wanted to go big. And this one just didn't seem like it was going to work for me. But I ended up picking it up when it was on clearance and I fell in love with it. This is the Urban Decay by Gwen Stefani palette. Looks like this on the outside. And it just really is a really lovely neutral palette. And this is one that I reach for when I am needing something that's going to be a little more neutral and subdued, and this one I usually throw into, well, when it was a thing, this was one that I would throw into my travel bag because I know that I can rely on some of these more neutral shades to give me some really pretty looks. And it has a lot more depth than it appeared to in the promo pictures, and I'm really happy that I have this in my collection. The next Urban Decay is the Urban Decay Afterdark palette. It looks like this on the outside. And this palette was supposed to be the grungier big sister, little sister to the Urban Decay Electric palette. And it looks like this. And this one is an all shimmer palette. This one does have two duochromes in this shade Scene here, which is a peach to gold, and this one right here, Lounge, which is one of the classic like a brownie red to green shifts that a lot of multi-chromes are making a comeback right now, and you'll see this kind of a shade in quite a few collections. I think Natasha Denona has one, and I think Danessa Myricks has one. I'm sure there are others, but I can't think of them right off the top of my head because it's kind of late in the day. But anyway, this palette is really nice. It has a lot of nice depth to it, and this purple is one of my favorite shades of purple, and I just really love all of these colors in here. Very nice. Really happy I picked this one up. And the next limited edition palette is one that really surprised me. It's one that I really don't think got the love and attention and hype that it deserved, and that is the Urban Decay Distortion palette. First of all, this packaging is amazing. It's purple jewel tone with this nice hollow on the top, and it's flat so it stacks nicely, but the inside is really what gets me. This one is a really lovely collection of both matte and shimmer shades, and it also has this nice row down at the bottom of transformer slash highlighter shades. And this palette came out in 2016 when these multi-chrome slash transformer shades were really starting to come onto the makeup scene in more mainstream palettes. And at the time, this was more of kind of on the leading edge. I know, I think it was back when it was Kat Von D Beauty had released their Alchemy quad with their version of these kinds of shades, and then this whole palette just is so lovely. It has not only one extra down here, but as you can see, these crisscross lines in the palette give you kind of an in-palette guide, so you didn't need to have any extra like little leaflets or pamphlets to kind of tell you what to do. But they have these little guides here that show you the kinds of different combinations that you can create with these. And I have made some really lovely looks both following these guides and just doing whatever I want to. But this palette was really very nice. The shades in here are just gorgeous. There's these rich earthy tones. There's these nice lovely lighter colors here. There's just such a depth of looks that can be created with this palette, and it just is honestly one of my favorites. I would say this would be one of my top 5 palettes. I just love it, and I'm so glad that I own it. Okay, we're going to take a break from Urban Decay for a minute, and we're going to go on to another brand that hasn't really gotten a whole lot of hype lately in the past few years in the beauty space. And the first one, that would be Lorac Cosmetics. And my limited edition palette here is the California Dreaming palette, and this one is so nice. This is a nice little light kind of pastel, very softly toned palette, and it has these beautiful deep jewel tones right over here. This beautiful navy blue boots, this beautiful green in Seaside, this brown, this purple toned brown in Cable Knit, and I have been very pleased with all of the looks that I've created. There's a lovely blend of, again, mattes, shimmers, and this nice metallic here in Kitty Cat and Sandcastle. They're just beautiful shades, and I have not been disappointed by any of the looks that I've created with this palette. And again, this is another one that would be a quick, if I'm low on space in a bag, I would put this in there because I just love the depth and the range of looks that I can create with this. And it's a lovely formula. Really happy that I have that in my collection too. Along with Lorac. Lorac also for a while there did a couple of really big license palettes and collections. They had Beauty and the Beast, which I did not pick up. They had, I think they had a Cinderella collection, but I could be mistaken. But I think that was before I was really into kind of looking and paying attention. But then there was this, the Pirates of the Caribbean collection. Oh, it's upside down. The Pirates of the Caribbean collection. And I loved the first few films, and haven't seen the last couple, but I knew that I needed this. In fact, I haven't even seen Dead Men Tell No Tales, but I just knew that I needed this because it's a beautiful color story. Take a look at this. Let me turn it upside down. Actually, now it's a beautiful palette, beautiful selection of shades. You have some lovely neutrals. You have some pops of color. You have these light pastel-y shades in, what is that? Sea Haze and Lost at Sea. You have some beautiful, there's again this duochrome down here that's kind of like lounge. It is called Black Pearl. And you have some shimmery shades and these satin shades and these matte shades, and they're all so beautiful. And again, I've just loved every single look that I've created with this palette. Yes, the packaging is bulky. There's a little hidden cove on the side where you can put the accompanying face palette, which I have. And it's just really clever and it's really pretty. And I am really surprised that it didn't do so well. It's just a beautiful, lovely, one of my favorite limited editions. Films are on deck now. So next I have the Pure and Trolls, the original, and this one, again, this is the only, this next pile is kind of like my one-offs pile, and this one I wasn't going to buy, but it was on sale, and I really fell in love with the color story. It has these, again, these beautiful neutrals here in this T-zone, and then it has these wonderful pops of color. There's this beautiful burnt pumpkin orange DJ Suki here, and this beautiful pink toned or blue toned pink poppy over here, and there's these lovely duochrome shades in the corners. This is it looks very white on camera here, but it's like a purpley blue white shimmer color. It's just so gorgeous. And again, the formula of these shadows is nice and soft and buttery, just like the Lorac shadows. And these are bigger pans, but they're beautiful. And I, again, have never been disappointed with any of the looks I've created with this. It's a very, very lovely formula. I don't know about the second movie formula. I think they came out with Quince with the second one. They were all different little kind of mini compacts. I didn't buy any of those. I just have this one, but it was a beautiful formula. And again, I'm glad I own it. The next license I have, and the next one-off, is the Besame Snow White. This is the Keep Singing Shadow Palette. And I remember picking this up because it was $10, and it's not the one I wanted. They had two in this series. They had this one and another one, and if I can find a picture, I'll pop it up there. But I remember wanting the other one, even though right now I cannot remember what it looked like. But this one is a beautiful color story too. It has this gorgeous apple red, named Apple, this buttery yellow. It's got this beautiful navy blue and this gorgeous, like an olive green gold there, and these, you know, these nice neutrals down here, and this beautiful gray shade, which I didn't have anywhere else in my collection before. And so it was just a really interesting color story, and I've used it, and the formula is nice. And I haven't tried any other Besame products, but I hear they're fantastic, and if they're as good formula as this, I look forward to seeing more color stories from them. The next one-off is, I don't know, it's one, it's two. I bought them together, but you could have also bought them separately, and that would be my Pat McGrath Star Wars collection palettes. These I did buy together, and they're beautiful. They are, you may have seen this one in my birthday Get Ready With Me, and this one is 5 shimmers and 1 matte. Beautiful color, beautiful pigmentation, wonderful blending, and just a really lovely formula, and the only Pat McGrath eyeshadows I currently own, but definitely kind of nice little gems and treats in my collection. And this one, even though I'm not a big huge fan of golds, has these lovely, these are all shimmers in this one, and this duochrome in the middle, if you can see, is kind of like a beautiful pink to purpley blue. It's just a beautiful, beautiful duochrome shade, and I love it so much, and I'm so glad to have this in my collection too. the next and final film-based palette here, limited edition, we're bringing it back around to Urban Decay, and it is my Alice Through the Looking Glass palette. The Alice in Wonderland is just one of my favorite stories ever, and the original came out when I was in college, and I missed the launch for that and was not really interested in makeup then, but when this one came out, I knew I had to have this one. Not only is the packaging gorgeous, it's bulky and I don't care. It's beautiful on the inside. It has this little quote from the series in there, and it opens up into this beautiful blue 3D butterfly that is bulky and gaudy, and I just love it. But the real makeup itself is in this little drawer that comes out. Let me set that aside there. And it looks like this. And I remember when it came out being so excited because these colors just, I mean, look at them, they're beautiful. And so many people were like, huh? At the color store, they couldn't figure it out. And then on the package, I think on the package, and the box is long gone, but it's been explained that you look at the color stories in rows and you can kind of see each row is its own character. So here we have Alice, and here we have the Mad Hatter, and here we have the White Queen, and here we have the Queen of Hearts, and then here we have Time on the very end. And this one just has a lovely mixture of mattes and shimmers, and it's got a couple of duochromes, it's got a topper shade, and I love the colors in here. They're so fun and playful, and I could also create some really lovely neutral looks with these browns and these light pinks, and it's just a lovely, lovely color story, and I'm just so glad to have it in my collection. The last one might stir up a little bit of controversy, but that's okay. This one is probably the favorite in my collection. It is. And this one is my Urban Decay in Game of Thrones. Now, a lot of people did not like it and were upset about it. And look, I get it. I do. It's a big, bulky package yet again, just like the Alice in Wonderland. And if you haven't seen it, it opens up like this. There's a mirror on this side. It opens up like this, and there's a little quote from the series. And then it opens up into a little iron throne. Oh, so cute. But anyway, that's not why we're here. We're here for the eyeshadow. And the eyeshadow is, again, in this little side drawer. And it looks like this. Looks like this. It's 24 shades broken up into, wait, this is my math. 5, 10, 15, 20, 20 shades, math. It's 20 shades in this one palette, and it's organized into little quints. Here at the top, we have the Beyond the Wall. Here we have the Starks. Here we have the Lannisters. And here we have Targaryen. And people kept saying, oh, well, I kept reading and hearing, oh, they should have just broken it up into quints and let it be that. And I don't know. It's just, this is beautiful. It has so many different finishes. There are beautiful mattes. There are beautiful shimmers. There's these foily shades. There are a couple of duochromes in here, and you can probably see I've made some nice dents in there. And again, it's just, I can create some beautiful looks, both dramatic and nice and neutral. And I just find the formula is so good, and I just don't understand why people hated it so much. I love it. I do. That is probably the favorite in all of my limited editions. That one might be my favorite. But I also have a little personal story that goes along with that too. But I really find the formula just fantastic, and oh, God. The last one is actually a palette that I purchased that was inspired by, well, let me start over. So the person who inspired this video made this next palette, and this is the Devinah Moonwell palette, and this one was created by Angelica Nyqvist here on YouTube, and it was named after Moonwell from World of Warcraft. And she's a gamer. She plays just like I used to, and in fact, this beautiful blue shade in here is called Paladin. And aside from the name and wanting to support one of the YouTubers that I watch, I just really loved this color story. I wanted to try an indie brand, and you can still buy quite a few of these shades, but Paladin and these two highlighter duochromes, this one's a greeny yellow and this one's like a peachy pink gold. Those two were face highlighters that they made into smaller pans just for this collection. But you can still buy many of these shades on the Devinah website, and they're all just beautiful. And this trio right here in this corner is a trio that I reach for generally when I don't know what I want to do. They're my favorite colors. I just love them. And I am really happy that I have that collection in my collection. So what do you think of these limited edition palettes? Do you have any limited edition palettes in your collection that you absolutely love and will fight someone over? These ones are all ones that I think these are the only ones in my collection that I really love and am always inspired by. I pick them up, they make me happy, they make me feel a little bit more creative. And if you'd like to see any looks with any of them, I'm sure you could search YouTube, but most of these are pretty old. So if you'd like to see either a modern twist on these palettes and color stories, or if you'd like to see some old and new, maybe I could do a something old, something new with a newer palette and one of my limited edition palettes, or maybe just you'd be inspired by the colors. Just let me know in the comments what you think. And I want to thank you for being here today with me. If you liked this video, please give it a thumbs up. I would love it if you would consider subscribing and hanging around. I know in one of my last videos I said I would upload on Tuesdays and Fridays, but life has gotten in the way, and I'm going to try to get back on that schedule as soon as I can. So thank you so much for being here, and I hope you have a lovely day, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.